Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. We here. Another episode of the NFC South versus the NFL. This your boy DJ No Twitter handle. Fire them cannons.
And you know this your boy Mike Ricks. Keep pounding.
Hey, it's your boy TJ Jones. When you see me in the street, just holler, who that?
Yeah. So we here, boys. We five. We here. We five. You know, we got through the first quarter of football. Still got 3 more to go.
Yes, sir.
So much. We just passed the month of I call it imagination, because people think they know what's going to happen in the NFL in September, but as we always see, we don't. So, Mike, where are we going with this week, going into the second quarter of the NFL season?
Hey, man, we're going to recap week 4, man. It was interesting, man. The NFC South went 3-1. 3-1. So that was
the winners of the division. You know?
Yeah, but that's big for the division, man. We needed that. We definitely needed that. We needed some victories in this division, man. So we're gonna recap week 4, man. Let's recap week 4. And let's start off with the team that was not victorious.
Fell short.
Who was that? What team was that?
That team that you biased about, TJ. What you mean? You know who that is? Who that?
Me bias? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know I was biased. I mean, I see a Carolina Panther fan here. I see a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan here. I mean, of course, I see a Saints fan, but the Falcons. Okay, I got you.
That team.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The one that we just can't replace. You know, there's an empty spot here we've been trying to fill, but
It's week 5. It's week 5.
And we kind of see why they're kind of hiding right now, because if you haven't been seeing, this team is right now 1-3, and just took another L to the Tennessee Titans. The Marcus Mariota led Tennessee Titans put up 10 points off of they had 517 yards total offense. Man, if that ain't a dirt cutter offense, I'm telling you, go see the Redskins versus the Bucks last year with Fitztragic, 517 yards with 3 points. It looked very familiar to that game. I'm telling you. What y'all see, man? I can go into it, but I want to see what y'all gonna say, because I got a couple things to say about that.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll start.
Start it off, my brother.
Hey, what's going on, Atlanta? How y'all doing? It's your boy TJ, representing the Who Dat Nation. Let me tell y'all something. It's amazing to me how your team, the Atlanta Falcons, can only squander up 10 points at home to Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans. Now, we all can agree that the Tennessee Titans, that first game, week 1, was smoke and mirrors. Before that game, they never scored more than 43 points since 2000 and I think like 8 or 9. Okay, I was just graduating from Jackson State University around that time. Okay, so Atlanta, this is the thing. It's amazing to me again how y'all can come on this NFC South versus NFL Facebook page and talk about we bias, but I don't hear about y'all no more since y'all team been 1-3. Have y'all heard anything? At the beginning of the season, I mean, it was loud and proud rising up, but now it don't seem like we ain't been getting no feedback. But this is the thing.
Damn.
Let me say this. Matt Ryan, I will say this. For the last couple years, he's had different offensive coordinators. That's tough. Okay, yeah. That is tough. I think about the 49ers and Alex Smith back in the day when they kept on changing offensive coordinators. And it wasn't until maybe Jim Harbaugh came and you know, he kind of helped them out and they got to the NFC Championship game and all that kind of stuff back in the day. So it's tough to change offensive coordinators, different schemes and everything like that. But let me tell you this. You got too much talent on the offensive side of the ball for y'all just to give up 10 points. Y'all just paid Julio. Y'all got Muhammad Sanu. Y'all got Kelvin Ridley. Y'all got some tight ends. Y'all got Hooper. Y'all got Devontae Freeman who can run and catch. And Matt Ryan's supposed to be that guy. Y'all problem is y'all spent too much money on the offensive side of the ball, and y'all have not been hitting on the defense when it comes to the draft and free agency. That's y'all problem. And it's going to cost a good coach and Dan Quinn his job. I mean, he on the high seat. Arthur Blank is not one of those guys that are very, very patient, okay? He sees what's going on in the NFC South. He sees all these teams like getting better. DJ, your Buccaneers getting better. Mike, you know what I'm saying? The Panthers are still, you know what I'm saying, pounding. So that's just the thing. I mean, you kept missing defensively in the draft, and that's your problem. So that's the reason why y'all lost. But it's sad. 10 points at home, that's a disgrace.
Yeah, man. Football, I don't care how much you try to dress it up, how cute it can look, is won in the trenches.
Amen.
Right now, that offensive line, and I can't even say the defensive line, even though they didn't get any sacks against Marcus Mariota. They provided some pressures early on in that game. But that secondary was horrendous. I don't know if it was that Neal injury, and they just kind of maybe he is maybe DJ, you called it, man. Maybe he is the most important piece to that defense. I thought it might have been Jones, but it's looking like Neal is the most important piece to that defense. Well, what can you say? Matt Ryan threw for how many yards? He threw 400, 300 some yards. I mean,
close to 400 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Can't run the ball worth a darn. It's pathetic. Pathetic. I don't know where you can go. I don't see anything changing with this team. It can't go. It's gonna blow up if it hasn't blown up already. I can't see how they can get better from this. You invested, like TJ said, TJ hit it on the nail. Y'all invested too much money into these skill position guys. You got the best receiver in the South. You got complimentary receivers with them. And like you said, a gang of tight ends. Austin Hooper right now may be the best tight end in the NFC South. You've been given everything offensively. So you have to be able to score and have shootouts. And you can't even do shootouts. And you paying all this money. Man, 10 points, that's pathetic. Pathetic. You scored 3 points in the second half, 7 points in the first half. And I think that might have been on the first drive, if I'm not mistaken. It's pathetic, man. I don't really have much to say, man. Outside, I do think the front seven actually played pretty good at times.
Yeah, they did. Grady Jarrett played good.
Yeah, man. And other than that, once they got up on you, they ran and milked the clock, and it was a done deal for y'all, man. I ain't got nothing else to say. DJ.
Man. Yeah, I got the most HELL hockey stick for saying what I said at the beginning of the year. I said the Atlanta Falcons were going to be under 500 team. Everything that I said was a problem is showing it's ugly like. I mean, like you just said, everybody said right here, I don't got to continue to go into what they were talking about. The trenches, well, more offensive than defense. Well, defense looks a little suspect. Grady Jarrett's nice. Takk McKinley, he looked all right last game, but he's inconsistent. Vic Beasley is still on a back of a milk carton, missing. And I don't know what happened. Trufant was looking good up until this game. Trufant was running around trying to chase that boy A.J. Brown, which he couldn't keep up with, and just doing whatever he wanted. Corey Davis looked like a first-round pick out there. I mean, it's just like I said, probably was the Neal issue. I mean, he probably shores everything up back there because they look like they were running around with their heads cut off. And Dan Quinn, that's his thing, and that's probably what, like you said, Arthur Blank is looking at this defense and saying, you know, I'm supposed to have one of the better defensive scheme type of a coach. I'm not saying he's not really doing it. I mean, the offense isn't really helping him that much. I think Matt Ryan's leading the NFL, maybe in interception. Like, he's up there as one of the turnover-prone players right now. Decisions aren't all the way there. Like you said, you got one of the higher-paid running backs in Devontae Freeman. You got one of the higher paid players at wide receiver. Sanu probably would be, and he's probably one of the best triple threat players in the league. I mean, it it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it does make sense to me, but it don't make any sense why the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons are what they are. I mean, I think they read their news clippings too much. They think they can just go out there and be who they, they think because what they were in the Super Bowl, 2016, what was that, 2-3 years ago now? I mean, after that, you fumbled and bumbled that playoff game after that, and since then it's just been a mess. Off the blanks, looking at this team right here, the disgrace of the division getting better, and they're going into the toilet bowl as it stands right now. None of us have a crystal ball. Maybe there's a magic potion they might sprinkle on Mercedes-Benz Stadium or something. And they can start winning some games, but as it stands right now, I don't see this team. They're gonna continue to lose. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't see a unit, and I don't see a team.
No, they're not united at all. Like they're all out there, it's like they're doing their own thing. That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna do mine. And what is that? That usually gets your coach fired.
Exactly
quick.
What it is, TJ.
Quick.
Me. So, but I do want to give a shout out to me. I'm Mr. Positivity. Campbell, the linebacker. I think he had a Pro Football Focus grade of like a 91 or something. The linebackers actually played pretty good that game. It was just the secondary was horrendous, man. It was terrible. So
they held Derrick Henry to 100 yards on 27 carries. He had under 4 yards of carry. So like I said, when I watched the game, I saw they were very stout against the run.
Right.
That's it. They couldn't stop AJ Brown in the first half. They couldn't stop Corey Davis in the first half. So they got up, they held on to that lead, and like you said, the second half was
run the ball.
Bad scheming.
Adding his stats.
Bad scheming. That is one of those games where coaches go into they go into the room and they say, who we gonna stop? And they say we're gonna stop Derrick Henry because we don't believe Marcus Mariota can beat us. And he beat him. I mean, it's plain and simple.
Yeah, Marcus Mariota did not have a great game. He had a good first half, but he had opportunities that he could have probably extended it further. But like I said, I mean, I think he was being more cautious. Didn't want to make a mistake.
Yeah,
but
that's smart. That's smart football, man. I think he had 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 0 sacks.
Because they knew Atlanta Falcons couldn't score on him.
Smart football, man.
Hey,
that's all I got to say.
Yeah, especially being a away game,
right?
The time possession. So yeah, I'm done.
But yeah,
I'm done like the Falcons.
I mean, we're gonna suck around because y'all got a game this week. But as it stands right now, yeah, when it comes to that game, I mean, if y'all saw anything different, please. There's a chair sitting right next to us.
Really?
And I believe that I picked y'all and y'all made me look stupid.
I don't think I did. I don't think I picked it.
Oh, I know I didn't. I said they are who we thought they were.
And we let them off the
hook. So.
But get out that black cloud that we were just talking about, Mike. Let's move on to
some winners.
Winners. And hey, before we move on, so for real, Falcon fans, give us more. Give us a reason why there should be some optimistic going into the second quarter of the season. If y'all can find it, please let me know.
Yeah, I think I got it underneath here somewhere. I think I can find it. Maybe. Let me see. I'm looking, but I can't seem to find it. I don't know.
Only thing I can think of is Dan Quinn's job.
That could be a good coach too. That's that part.
Yeah, but he'll get another job.
Oh yeah.
So
maybe a job with front office and a good scout team. Maybe he can go somewhere like that.
Maybe we should talk about that. Maybe that's probably the most interesting thing coming out. Where you gonna get the Redskins job, the Dolphins job, possibly the Bengals job. I mean,
Bengals got a first-year coach. I think they may hold on to him a little bit.
Shoot,
I gotta I know the reason why they're not successful, but I think I'm gonna save that for when we do the predictions.
Okay.
I got a little thought in my head. I think I figured it out.
I'm looking forward to that. Y'all tune into that.
If y'all know about Sesame Street, I got a little baby, so.
All right, man. We're gonna move on. Well, let's move on to the
Throw one out there, Mike.
Carolina Panthers versus the Houston Texans.
See, this is what happens when you give a Carolina Panther an option to throw out a game.
Hey, I figured, y'all get. I don't know, man. I just felt like the last two games we're gonna talk about were more bigger games, I guess I should say, or bigger upsets, man. Y'all played two undefeated teams, so we'll talk about those later. But the Houston Texans, man. I want to go last on this.
Yeah, because you want to smear in our face. That's probably what you want to do. Yes, I picked the Houston Texans to beat the Carolina Panthers. Okay. I came out this game saying, the Panthers are who I thought they were. I mean, the Panthers are, a good team. Defense came out smothered. I mean, there was nowhere really for Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, he loves to be on top of his toes, bouncing around that pocket and throw it on, basically just let that thing fly, and he couldn't do it. He didn't feel comfortable in that pocket. How many sacks did y'all have that game? What was it? That's like a record or something, like 9? Oh, that's not.
Nah, we had 6 this week.
Oh, we had 6 this week. But yeah, so I mean, he never felt comfortable in that pocket. There wasn't much going on with the ground game. Your boy, top 5 Nook Hopkins, blocks. Bradbury did it again. Like I said before, I think Bradbury is probably one of the better cornerbacks in the league, and he's showing it. They did their thing. Luke did his thing. I guess there's not much I really need to say. It definitely was a smash mouth type of a game. Kyle Allen, man, you gotta learn how to protect that ball. That's probably the biggest negative thing I saw come out this game. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey continues to show why he's a top 3 running back in this league. I mean, that man is strong, man. I ain't gonna lie. I used to play this man. Like he is strong. Like the way he breaks tackles and it's so smooth. It's like silky like butter. I don't know. It's just like you hit him, slide off him, and he slide 5 yards. I'm like, yo, he should be getting knocked back. There's no way. Man, look good. But yeah, back to your boy Kyle Allen. I'm gonna touch a little bit. Obviously, Mike's gonna probably let us really know. TJ probably got a little more. The tape's on you, man. People coming after that ball. They're gonna come after that ball. They had 3 fumble loss. I mean, y'all probably could have blew the doors open on the Houston Texans if y'all didn't have these turnovers. I think 1 or 2 of them was in the red zone or it was on the other side of the field. I mean, you definitely can throw that ball. Man, you're showing a lot of. You're not very. How can I put this? He ain't afraid to put that ball in a tight window, which, that's encouraging, and he's putting it on the money. Outside of that, he got that pocket presence isn't there. But outside of that, there's not much more to say. I mean, the offense on point. I did your thing. Duke Johnson, tore y'all up a little bit. But outside of that, I had to put Duke in there because I mentioned Duke. Dookie! That's it, man. Congratulations on y'all win, man. Get y'all. Still beat y'all.
Man, I just got one thing to say about the Carolina Panthers, okay? I'm going to give them a hand clap. I'm going to give y'all a hand clap, man, because, look, dealing with the same type of situation that y'all dealing with, being a Saints fan, watching this dude, Kyle Allen, I'm just letting you and the rest of the Carolina Panther fans out there that support Cam Newton, his job in trouble. It is. This kid has the potential of being really good. I mean, yeah, he turns the ball over, but that's something that can easily be fixed. Right. If you watch the way that this guy throws the ball and you see the team around him, I mean, he turned the ball over, but that defense helped him out tremendously. I feel like this. I know a lot of people at the beginning was talking about the Carolina Panthers, talking about unanswered questions. I think all those questions have been answered because when Cam went down, it seemed like everybody elevated their game. And that right there is the recipe for a successful team. That shows you that a team actually wants it. And watching some of these guys actually perform on the offensive side of the ball, like really living up to their true potential, they look like a completely different team when Kyle Allen is in the game. They already showed you last week against the Arizona Cardinals, be that as it may, they're not very good. They showed you that they can put up some points offensively. And then in this game against the Houston Texans, they told you that we can get rough and rugged with you too. That's dangerous. So the way I look at it, I think that the Carolina Panthers, I want to give props and respect to that team because they did an outstanding job, man. Like holding up this young kid. And I'm telling you, like Cam Newton is in trouble. And if this guy can like get better, and you look at the money that Cam Newton taking up as far as with the cap, and you can get this young dude playing with a rookie deal. I mean, you can get some players around there. That's some dangerous stuff right there, man. I mean, I know you might not want to hear that, Mike, but that's some dangerous stuff. When it comes down to it, these owners want to win games. I mean, loyalty is second. You know what I'm saying? Like winning games and championships is number one. Okay, so when you have a combination of a young player, and it seems like these guys are responding to this guy, Cam might be in trouble, man. I'm telling you. Like, I know everybody respect Cam, and you should. I mean, he's been an incredible warrior, but all them hits and all them injuries over the course of time, man, might have been caught up with him. But Kyle Allen, man, he has the tendency. Like he can be really good. He can be like one of the top quarterbacks in this division if they stick with him and he clean up, you know, some of the turnovers, but he pretty good.
Yeah, man. TJ, I'm gonna steal what you said last week. I got 4 words. I told you so. Hey, I told you everything in me believed that we were going to beat this team, man. I watched this team. I saw it on paper. We matched up well with them. And I knew it wasn't going to be easy. We wasn't just going to blow them out, but I knew we were going to be able to beat this team. We were the better team. Yeah. I do want to do something really, really quick. It's the reason why I'm wearing Cam today. Panther Nation, a lot of y'all are feeling just like TJ. But I'm not going to make this segment about Cam. I just know when Cam was healthy at the beginning of last season, to carry on with that same Cam with this group of players, this team is extremely dangerous. Now, Kyle Allen is holding it down for us. Absolutely. He is extremely confident, and Kyle Allen is playing for a starting job, even if it's not in Carolina. But it could possibly be in Carolina because he's playing some ball, man. And there's some teams out there that could use a quarterback like him if it's not us. With that being said, man, I want to say congratulations to this team. This was a team victory. Right now, we are playing complementary football, meaning that we got each other's back. Special teams, man, our kicker. Y'all got to understand, Graham Gano has been our kicker for a long time. We got a rookie kicker right now that missed 1 field goal his first try against the Rams week 1, and he's been automatic ever since. We had Dante Jackson that did not play. And we had a guy by the name of Ross Cockwell, which I tweeted earlier before the game, step up for him and played huge.
Yeah, he had a good game.
He had Trey Turner, that's a Pro Bowl offensive lineman that did not play, couldn't play. And we shifted and put our second-round draft pick at left tackle, and he finished out with a Pro Football Focus grade of an 89. No sacks given up. Even though that strip fumble came, that wasn't his fault. That's Kyle Allen's fault for not stepping up and holding on to the ball. We had KK Short that did not play. You're talking about guys that are really, really big difference makers on this team. And the next man stepped up. That shows you the type of team that we have. And I want to give a special shout out to Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera has been in this situation before. In 2013, they were trying to fire him because we started off 1-3. And what did Ron Rivera do? Back against the wall, he don't phase. You know, okay, this is when I show my truth. This is when I show my strength, who I really am as a coach. I don't waver. He's built differently, and I said this in the ride along, man. This is an amazing, not just coach but person. He's been through a lot. He's shown that he is very resilient. So this team believes in him, and what he preaches, man, and it showed it out there on the film, man. To give up 160 yards to Deshaun Watson in this high-powered offense, and especially the way they like to sling the ball, is extremely impressive. I know we hear Luke Kuechly and want to talk about him a lot because Luke is our quarterback on defense, man. Hall of Famer, first ballot, no ifs, ands, buts about it. But let's talk about this guy by the name of Shaq Thompson, man. He was a guy that everybody was questioning. Oh, can he do it? All this man needed was the opportunity. Man, he led the team in tackles last against Houston Texans, had a sack, had a pass breaker, name it. He is a Swiss Army knife. Oh, man. And then you got Bradbury up there locking up. Man, this team here, pass rushers, Bruce Irvin, this was his first game. This team here is exactly what I saw when we looked at this on paper, man. This defense is one of the best defenses in the game of football, in the NFL, completely across the board. And they're doing it with injuries, with people that's not in there. We got a huge injury news that came out that KK Short's not going to be with us anymore for the rest of the season. That can potentially hurt us. Before this game, the way that they stepped up, man, I'm extremely proud of this team, man. Christian McCaffrey is an MVP candidate right now. He does it all. When you have 10 targets and 10 catches, I know a lot of them were swing, but all of them weren't accurate. I mean, that pass that he had to tip the ball and tip it to himself again and dive and catch and slide for a first down, man, that's heart. This team right here has heart, man, and they're playing with a lot of passion because they believe that they are a Super Bowl contender. Are we going to be that? Who knows, man? This is the NFL, but they believe in themselves, man, and I love what they're playing with. Kyle Allen, my only knock on you is protecting the ball. And like you all both said, man, that's something that is very teachable. He can learn how to gain a better pocket presence. But his anticipation, his confidence, his willingness to just put it out there and let his playmakers make plays, man, I got to give y'all props, man. I'm extremely proud of this team and their effort. But that's pretty much all I have to say, man. I think our offense is going to continue to roll and get better. Kyle Allen had that game, that question game. Well, how can he do against a good defense? Well, I think he felt pretty good, man. We got the dub. So he didn't do anything that was going to give us a loss. But I'm proud of this team, man. That's pretty much all I got to say, man. Oh, I do want to say this. Houston Texans, y'all had a key injury, and I'm not oblivious to football games. Kenny Steele going out early in that game was huge because that in that nickel position, I believe they could have had some success because our nickel was Ross Cockwell. And with him being out, we had another guy out there by the name of Elliott, even though Shaq was doing well. But Kenny Steele's a different animal than this cutie or whatever his name is. But by that happening, I think it kind of threw y'all off too. But other than that, man, hey, it's a good win for us. National media keep wanting to say, oh, Deshaun Watson just played bad. It's a reason why he played bad. But keep sleeping. Keep sleeping. We like being the underdogs.
I guess I got, excuse me, y'all. Did y'all see, I don't think we talked about this, the Cam Newton interview he did on his channel?
Yeah.
Mike, how do you feel about that? I know. We won't go too long into it. Did you see it, TJ?
No, I didn't see it.
Well, I'll talk about it.
This dude had a drink and a cigar.
Well, he had a glass of wine. He had a guy. Well,
Go ahead, talk about it.
No, go ahead, because you asked me a question. I don't want to take your time. You sound like Shannon and Skip right now. I don't know if you want me to talk or if you want to talk.
I ain't see Shannon and Skip. But
well, no, they didn't talk about that situation. But they be like, "Oh, Skip, what you got to say about it?" Oh, it's my time. It's my time. So you asked me the question. So if you want it, go ahead and say it, and I answer.
No, I mean, I found the timing of it very interesting. Okay. Because he made it, and I kind of got why he did it. Because there was a lot of rumblings. Obviously, when he lost to us, there was a lot of questions being asked about Cam. Cam was very silent outside of that press conference that he did. That we saw all the pictures and the Madea jokes and all that stuff, in regards to that. But he kind of waited to come out and talk about the injury that I made mention to back when it happened in that last preseason game against the Patriots. I said it. I said that's not good. Knew a little bit about middle foot injuries, being a former medic in the military. I knew a little bit, and Mike also talked about it because he had the injury. That's not one of those injuries that you want to rush or be on, because you will make it worse. And in that game, me and Mike were texting back and forth with TJ. I said it too, and I was like, I forgot what play it was. I was like, he's limping. That doesn't look good. He's still hurt. And then obviously, he got pulled and we're here. But just to get back on that, I didn't really pay much attention to the details of it. I thought it was interesting when he came out with it. And I wanted to know how Mike felt about it, because like I said, it wasn't my quarterback. So to be honest, I was kind of like, oh, here you go. So I didn't really listen, deeply into it. So you give me a little bit about it, Mike.
All right, well, I won't be long, man. I loved it, and I'm gonna tell you why, man. The national media is the national media, but the local media is very, very critical. I think sometimes they are out to get Cam in a lot of these interviews with him. They like to twist his words. Cam, I think, is articulate, but sometimes he's that guy that, I don't know if y'all seen the program in Omar Epps, and sometimes like to use big words. Yeah, well, he likes to use big words, and because he learned a new word, and he doesn't need to actually use that word at that moment. So sometimes they like to twist certain things, or he may not articulate it the way that it needs to be articulated. But so he's doing it in his own way and saying, okay, I'm not going to talk to the media too much about this. I'm just going to have my own platform and my own comfortability and skin where I can just, voice what's going on.
What did he say? I'm sorry, I didn't see it. So what exactly happened?
All he did, he just explained that it wasn't the coaches, it wasn't the medical staff and all these people that, because sometimes Ron Rivera got upset because all the questions people were coming to attack Ron Rivera. Like, well, you didn't know about the foot. How didn't you know about this and that? So Cam pretty much laid it out there that I'm a competitor. Yeah, I didn't come out there and say this was really bothering me. I thought I can go through with this. I thought I could still win and help this team out. But I wasn't helping the team out there in my condition. I honestly was making things worse. I knew we had a really, really good team. There's no reason why we should be losing these games when we're this close to winning. Because usually there's no way in the world, if it's 4th and inches or 4th and 1, that I'm not getting it. But I can't push off that foot to go get it. I can't do these things. I'm trying to run around, so I can't. So for the betterment of this team, I got to take myself out of this, make sure I'm healed and not doing more damage to it, because right now we finally have somebody in place that I can feel comfortable enough to sit back and run this team offensively. Because Kyle Allen, like you said, he's done a heck of a job with this team. So
wait a minute now. So he comes out in the middle of the season talking about his injury and discussing the severity of his injury and why he decided to shut himself down. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, I don't think he really said that he shut himself down.
Yeah.
Cam in the video, Cam really does believe he's Superman. He made mention to how he kind of believed that he was unstoppable. I mean, in very simple terms, he referred to himself kind of in a third person, talking about, and what he really did was he tried to take the grunt off. It seems like Ron Rivera, like you said,
Right.
because he took a lot. Like you said, Ron Rivera's been getting questioned a lot about his foot. Ron Rivera, being the man he is, he ain't gonna throw people under the bus.
Yep.
He didn't do that. So, Cam basically said he hid his injury, and even when he was in the game, he was having conversations with himself, telling himself he could not push off that foot. There's a reason why he wasn't running. He knew there was a part of his game that was missing, and that's why he wasn't out there having fun. He was making, he was basically taking all the issues the team had and put it on his shoulders and said, until he is healthy, he's basically a detriment to this team. And he, like Mike said, he feels comfortable now with the team in place, and obviously Kyle Allen coming in to feel like he can now fully recover and heal himself, because he found out that he really isn't what he felt like he was untouchable as being that Superman character that he likes to perpetuate himself to be.
Okay. All right.
So he's been humbled.
He said that.
He did. He said it. He said, so I've been humbled. I'm extremely humbled now to know that I'm not. That there is something that's holding me back. And he said his brother called him and told him, like, man, you limping. You can't. What's going on with you? And so because he has enough respect for the guys on this team, you got to understand, Greg Olsen is getting older. He's on his way out. Gerald McCoy came here, and, he came here with the intentions of having success and making the playoffs that he's rarely or if ever experienced in Tampa Bay. He came, that wasn't a shot, man. It's a lot of pieces here with this team that's a really good team that can compete. So why am I going to put myself in this and situation to hurt our team? Because I'm not who I need to be right now to help this team. So I think it took a lot of guts to really say, because as competitors, man, it's tough to just say, hey, man, I'm going out here to compete. And yes, he probably can stand back there and throw those passes and do this and that, but he's not the same Cam. He's not the dynamic Cam that we need him to be. And Kyle Allen's a much better player right now than Cam would be in the conditions he is in.
That's basically what it was.
All right, it makes sense.
There wasn't much of it.
So, but I went longer than I wanted to on that. But I just want to commend the brother, and and I'm glad you brought it up, DJ, because that was the main reason why I'm representing the one. And I'm gonna hold him down. I don't believe his job is done, because I believe that the Cam Newton that we saw last year, once he gets right, is gonna be even better with the type of weapons we have around him. I really believe that, because he brings another dynamic that Kyle Allen doesn't bring.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for that, Mike.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So we knocked out the Falcons and the Panthers.
Right. So let's move on to this breaking news to the America's team.
Oh, so we're going to move on to that game.
Man, where America's fan at tonight, man? Where you at?
Well, he's just like most Cowboy fans.
Oh, okay. Nowhere to be found when they – okay.
He didn't want to face me either, because there was a lot of slander thrown on this team right here that I'm not going to be able to discuss tonight. So we're going to keep it short on that. But we're going to talk about the Saints and the Cowboys. As we all know, the Saints beat a slobber knocker. I mean, that was a slobber knocker game right there. They beat the Cowboys at home. What was it, 12-10?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When you talking about smash mouth football, you got it in that game. I guess I'll start it off. Congratulations, TJ, because you definitely were the only one that picked that game.
Of course.
You picked the who that nation to beat the Cowboys. What I got from this game is I should have always trusted my heart. I don't know why I picked the Cowboys. Right now, TJ made mention to it. I'm going to take his thing that he said last week. Right now, the Cowboys look like they're working with smoke and mirrors. This team, prior to coming to this game, which I should have paid more attention to, the teams they played prior had a record of 1-8. I kind of allowed other noise around me kind of divert how I still felt about this team. That I felt like that was very unproven. A Dak Prescott that, you can look at the numbers and whatever. When I watch him, I still feel like you can't win a Super Bowl with a player like Dak Prescott. But I don't want to take anything away from the Saints. The Saints played one hell of a game. One thing I'm taking away from this team, and obviously, everybody knows the Saints have the Bucks next week, and obviously I was paying attention to it for that reason. Well, obviously the NFC South too, but that team right now they're playing together. I mean, they're definitely playing for each other. You can see, and it's funny how you watch the cast of the game and how they just kept on showing Drew Brees almost between every play and how he was sitting there like, he had the headphones, you listen to every play. He kind of knew it was coming, and it's just like everybody is in tune and all in with what's going on right now. They know their leader is down, but he's not out. He's there. He's as much involved not being on the field as if he was on the field. Yeah, they're just playing some very inspired ball. I mean, the defense is out there playing. They were punching the Cowboys in the mouth between the defensive line. That secondary probably had their best performance of the season, in my opinion. Marshawn Lattimore looked like the rookie that everybody wanted to put up there as probably a top 5 cornerback. He put them locks on Amari Cooper. He made Amari Cooper kind of come out of his own little zone. I think he had a little passing, offensive pass interference. He saw a little frustration out of him. He frustrated him that game. Randall Cobb didn't do much. Zeke, how many yards? I mean, probably TJ probably got all the numbers. But like I said, all together, like I was very impressed what the Saints did. Teddy Bridgewater continues to not make any mistakes. If it's not there, he takes off. That's perfect. Stay in front of the chains. You can see that's something that he is definitely going to do. He hasn't shown the Teddy Bridgewater of Vikings yet, but he's still showing he's good enough to win games, and that's exactly what y'all doing right now with him. And that's all I'm really going to. And like I said, good win for the Saints. 3-1 on top of the division. Congratulations. It's not going to be there long though.
Man, I'm gonna say this, man. I've probably been the one on this channel, this show, this platform that has been the most critical of the New Orleans Saints and not a believer in them. I know what I'm doing. I'm eating crow.
Hey, do it.
I was extremely impressed, man. Extremely impressed as a coach of basketball, football. I've coached AAU. I've coached for many years, man. That's my type of team. You talking about guys that are willing to risk whatever it is to make sure for their brother, to make sure that they come out victorious and that they keep this thing going. So when their leader comes back, we can hit the ground running and be right in position where we need to be in to come out with these rings. That was special, man. I mean, the game plan I thought was phenomenal, moving the change. I wasn't getting a whole bunch of big chunk plays. Smart football. I don't know how many times the Dallas Cowboys had the ball. It wasn't many because we kept having these long drives. And yes, they may have been field goal drives, but we were milking the clock. We were controlling the clock. We were controlling the game. And our defense was fresh. And we could fly around and we could stop the run and dare Dak Prescott to put that ball in the air against us and see what's going to happen. Man, I ain't gonna say I can't stand the Saints because they're in the division. But and it wasn't because it's the Cowboys, because I hate the Cowboys, but watching them play, man, I gained much more respect, and I was somewhat of a fan just for that game. That was a special win, and I know it could have been better. To see Alvin Kamara run hard, breaking all kind of tackles and keeping great balance to keep the chains moving. To see Teddy Bridgewater just come in and take what the defense is giving him to make sure that we can keep moving these chains. To see the entire defensive line, not just Cam Jordan, not just Sheldon Rankins. I'm talking about everybody flashed out there. To see A.J. Klein and Mr. Dede out there going, man, flying around making tackles. To see, man, I mean, everybody, Lattimore, the whole entire defense ball out. And let's not forget about the special teams. Will Lutz, wasn't he 100% 4 for 4?
Yep.
And then you had punt returning, and then you had your guy giving you a good field position. This was the ultimate team win, and this has been 2 weeks in a row. That's enough for me. I apologize. Y'all are not smoking mirrors. This is a true team right here, man. I was thoroughly impressed. This is complimentary football. This right here is Super Bowl brand football, and it pains me to say this. Trust me, it pains me to say this as a Carolina Panthers fan. But I was impressed. Less than 40 yards, Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper. Yeah, he was dealing with an injury. Whatever, man. Y'all play ball. You got to play ball. Kudos, man. Much respect. Much respect.
Man, I'm pretty sure people think that I'm about to, come on here and be bragging and boasting about a Cowboy win. But I'm not, man. I'm not. I don't know. I understand what this game meant to the state of Louisiana because they just do not like the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
This was and I had friends of mine who were Cowboy fans that were going in, wanting me to get amped up for this game, but I wasn't because, it's just week 4. I can understand week 13 of last year. That's like playoff position type games, right? But this game, it would have been whoever they played, I would have been glad they got the win. Teddy Bridgewater, he played a very serviceable game, but I came away from that game I come to the conclusion he's not the successor of Drew Brees. He's not. I said this on a video that I put out. I said that he is just a serviceable quarterback. He's one of those guys that probably going to be like the McCowns and the Fitzpatricks, one of those guys that are going to be around for a long time. You need somebody to come in the game, nickel and dime, penny and quarter down the field, he can do that. But as far as in today's NFL, the guy that's gonna come in the game, when you have a league that's offensively driven like this, man, you can't be around here playing that conservative type football. Back in 2002, maybe, Teddy Bridgewater probably be the truth. But it's gonna come a time. And I know we're going to talk about this, a little later, DJ, about the game against the Buccaneers, but it's going to come a time where you're going to have to go out there and you're going to have to put the team on your shoulders. You get what I'm saying? And as a quarterback, you're going to have to do that. And that's what a lot of people, talk about Dak Prescott. They talk about, can he go out there and put the team on his back when Ezekiel Elliott not performing well? And, that, I feel like Teddy Bridgewater, good serviceable quarterback, but he is not the answer to the Saints when it comes to the future. This was a team win. I'm going to just say this also. This is a dangerous football team right here, man. It's dangerous because they doing this without Drew Brees, and that shows character, man. Like I said before, when they could easily just say, man, we lose this game, everybody going to be like, man, Drew Brees ain't here. Drew Brees, they basically can get a pass. They could, because people be like, man, they really not that good without Drew Brees. And in a lot of ways, they not. You're seeing imperfections of that team. The offensive line, 11 holding penalties over, 22 in the last 2 weeks. I think they had maybe 6 or 7 in this game. You're seeing the imperfections of this team, but guys are playing for each other. They're playing for the next man next to him. And it's like everybody elevating their game. Now, I could say, this is a foreshadow of things to come. But I mean, I'm reserving my judgment. This was a revenge game. Like, to me, this was a revenge game. This was a, what kind of man you gonna be today type game. Like, these people been talking about y'all, and they've been saying that you guys don't have what it takes, and y'all went out there and got punched in the mouth, and y'all just a finesse team. This was right here a manhood game. Your manhood basically on the line in this game, and they performed. So, like, is this a foreshadow of things to come, or is it just one of those games where people are just saying, "Oh, the Saints weren't the same until after they lost to the Dallas Cowboys last year"? I mean, what is it? But all in all, I'm just glad they got the win. I mean, people are saying that the Saints probably gonna go 0-6 or something like that when Drew Brees was out and all that. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, he's not like setting the world on fire, but I mean, you go up to Seattle, you get a win, and you beat a team that's undefeated coming into the Dome on primetime television. When a lot of people say that you weren't going to be able to do it, man, kudos to him. And that 15-play drive that he had that took 9 minutes off the clock, like that right there, man, that was incredible. And I think that we all can agree on this. Sean Payton should be coach of the year. If the Saints make it to the playoff, Sean Payton should be coach of the year. Because for years, everybody was saying, like, okay, he's just great mastermind, but Drew Brees is this great quarterback. This right here, this is some of his best coaching work, I've seen in a long time. And sometimes you need that, man. Sometimes you need that shot in the arm, because sometimes you'll get complacent and you get so used to a guy being on the field and bailing you out and stuff like this. This right here shows that Sean Payton can be, one of the great coaches that people talk about. Coryell back in the day and Marty Schottenheimer, all them other great coaches back. I mean, he can be among those greats, even without Drew Brees. But that's what I learned from this game. But for them Dallas Cowboy fans, I'm just telling y'all, in the words of Kendrick Lamar once again, sit down, be humble, okay? Be humble. I ain't gonna sit up here and make it think because y'all came walking down Bourbon Street and had a second line and stuff like that, say y'all gonna take over New Orleans. Look, all I'm saying is y'all made yourself look bad. I ain't even gotta do it. Y'all did it to yourself. I ain't even gotta do that. All I gotta do is roll the footage and watch how y'all just made fools out yourself. But be humble, okay? I mean, this is a game of emotions. I mean, you can look like world beaters one week and then the next week you get humble. And case in point, the Los Angeles Rams.
Great way to segue. Great way to segue. Oh yeah, he's a professional. He's a professional. I don't know where he's gonna be at, but he's a professional. Yeah, man. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Versus the Los Angeles Rams. Well, this is another game that I said they were gonna lose. I would think I finished like 1-3, 2-2, something like that this week. But I watched this game. I got a different take than what probably some of y'all might look at it as. But I want to give congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh yeah.
For beating the team that we all felt isn't as good as people want to make them out to be. Y'all went in there. That's a tough place to travel and go win. So that's huge, especially how things went down last week. But I'm going to talk a little bit about that game and what I saw. There's no way, and excuse my language with this, H-E-double-L, I ain't going to say it. Forget it, hell. And I don't know why these coaches continue to try to be cute. There's no way you do not run the football with one of the best running backs in the game of football 20 minutes into the game. You're talking about the second quarter, 9 minutes or so left, in the second quarter, the first time you run the ball with a running back, and it's not even Todd Gurley. That's the first time. You run the ball 4 or 5 times in the first half. And one of those ended up being like a 14, 15-yard touchdown. And you do not run the ball, you're setting yourself up for disaster, for something terrible to happen. Sean McVay, you get a lot of credit for being this offensive genius. That was absolutely horrendous. I don't care what anybody says, man. I don't want to take anything away from the Bucs, and I'm going to get to y'all. I'm going to get to y'all in a minute, man, to give you credit. But that was terrible. You put Goff in a situation where he had to throw the ball 60-plus times. Man, come on, man. Come on and think that you're going to win a game? You set yourself up for that. And Tampa Bay did exactly what they should have done, which was capitalize on that stupidity. Now let's talk about Tampa Bay. I done got that out the way. Let's talk about Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, they got a special guy in the name of Chris Godwin. DJ has been telling me about this Penn State receiver since they drafted him. I know Mike Evans gets a lot of the attention, and I'm not saying it's not deserved. But this Chris Godwin can do everything just about, man. He can catch screens and run after he catches a screen. He can run during every single route. He can big body plays because I see him use his body quite often to keep himself and the defensive back in between the ball, and he can go get the ball. And he did all of this while he was dealing with a hip injury. That showed a lot of heart and character right there, man. And I'm not just saying this because he's on my fantasy football team. But I watched this guy, and I played receiver, man. I even played a little collegiately before I moved on to defensive back. But he's a talent, man. He is a really, really talented receiver. And Jameis Winston, man, I got to get off this boy's back, these young men's back, because he's proven everybody. I know it's only been a quarter of football so far this season, but the way that he's playing the game of football is what we all thought Jameis Winston should be as a number 1 draft pick, man. It's like he's starting to come into his own, and it's a very beautiful and scary thing to watch. And they also have a running game. And even when they don't get yards, because I said this before, they stick with it because eventually it's going to break. And they pressure. Todd Bowles schemes, man. I was really, really, really impressed with the Todd Bowles, hey, boom or bust. It seemed like that's the way he calls defensive plays. We going to get a big play, or we going to give up a big play. We're going to get a huge play. Defensively, we're going to get turnovers. We're going to get a strip sack. We're going to get whatever sacks, or we're going to give up a huge touchdown. That's the way they're playing ball, man. And it's all out. And as defense, a guy that loves defense, man, you got to respect that, man, because I'm putting my guys out there, and we're going to fly around and play some defense, man. So I don't want to discredit the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for winning that game because they did what they needed to do to be victorious. But I think the Rams overlooked Tampa Bay looking on to this Thursday night game, and I think they did a poor job coaching. I do think Donovan Smith should be fined, and hopefully – not Donovan. What's his name? Donovan Smith? Yeah. He should be fined because that was a terrible hit in the end zone. There should have been a flag, all kind of stuff. I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the game. Tampa Bay was already – I know it would have been closer to a 3-point game, but they had already had the moment. Everything was going their way. They were balling. But kudos, DJ, of being 500, man. You believed in this team when a lot of people didn't. Both of y'all picked him. So it's going to be interesting next week, and we'll talk about it later. But that's all I got to say, man. Congratulations.
Man, I just want to say that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I've been saying this since the beginning of the season, that this team is much better than people give them credit for. This is a good football team, man. You got a lot of young players on this team that have the potential of being really good. I mean, you already got, a top receiver in Mike Evans. I mean, you look at Shaq Barrett, who I know the Denver Broncos, as right now as we speak, are kicking themselves. Like, how in the heck did we let this dude get out the door? You have Levante David at the linebacker position. You got Ndamukong Suh. I mean, you got all of these players, on this team, man. I think last week helped them. I'm gonna be honest. I think that last week helped them learn how to lose, how to win. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, the Giants came back. I mean, they were like 18 down. This shows right here, like, okay, man, we got to jump on these guys. And when we jump on them, we going to continue to, pound the football. We're going to continue to air it out. We're going to, like, put our foot on their necks. I feel like, honestly, if they probably would have won that game against the Giants, they probably wouldn't have won this game right here.
No.
That's the reason why, honestly, why I picked them. And man, I just want to say I apologize about Jameis Winston, man. I said I was going to apologize, but I am going to apologize about him. I think that he has improved. I think Bruce Arians is man, he's a godsend to Jameis Winston, man. Like, look, I feel like this. Jameis Winston forever should be indebted to Bruce Arians because he saved his career. I mean, he was looking like he was in bust territory. Okay, he looked like he was gonna be like one of them guys that's a disaster. Bruce Arians came in, kind of calmed him down. You can see the improvement in his passing, his decision making. He's not turning the ball over at an alarming rate. He did have an interception in that game, which was a pick six, Marcus Peters, but for the most part, some of those passes down the field, just timing is just, I mean, it's just really, really good. The turnovers that they had in this game, I can understand why Sean McVay wanted to throw the football in this game. And I can understand why they probably waited, all that time to run a football because they saw the same thing we saw last week with the New York Football Giants, throwing the ball all over the field. And they thought that they can capitalize on that. But Todd Bowles and the defense, they kind of, worked on that. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to be victorious, man. I'm very impressed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. I think that Jameis Winston is going to be one of those quarterbacks that's going to be serviceable for the near future. I still feel like he is the NFC South Tony Romo. That's who he is to me. I feel like he's going to be one of them guys that can always keep you in game. He's going to be one of them guys that costs you some games.
Right.
They say that the same thing that makes you laugh makes you cry. Right. I feel like he has that potential right there. But, man, a lot of bright spots, man. A lot of bright spots on this team. They got playmakers at each level. I still feel like they need to work on in their secondary just a tad bit. But nevertheless, good win against a team that represents the NFC in the Super Bowl. So, man, congratulations to you.
Absolutely. You did something that neither one of us could do.
Yep.
That's impressive.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I can go?
Yeah, hurry up, man.
Sure. What y'all, I think everybody in here already said it in their own segment at a certain time. I told you so. Okay. This team, and like I said, I'm probably one of the only, it's a small community of Bucks fans out there. And I probably was the flag waver of them all. That the day we got Bruce Arians, I was going to follow everything this man said because he came in with the clout, in my opinion, to believe what this man would. I mean, you just got to believe everything he's going to do. He brought in Todd Bowles. He even spoke life into Byron Leftwich as a play caller. We got boy Christensen here as a quarterback coach who's obviously been around with a lot of great quarterbacks. The way this team is getting, and they've been getting better every single week, even with that game they played against the Giants, which, like TJ said, they learned a lot from that game of how no matter how good or bad a team is, and you step off that gas or you think you got it, anybody can creep up and they can beat you, and that's exactly what happened. And that was something they were not going to allow happen in this game. You know, even if it did, they had to put up 55 points to do that, which is obviously a franchise record. Um, I said it before. I think this team this year, probably most likely because the schedule is dictating this way, is going to be a road warrior type of a team. Um, I said it. I don't think right now, for some reason, there's a lot of pressure at home. I don't think they're going to play very well at home. I think this stretch maybe bring some positivity to that stadium, and more Bucks fans will come out there and actually cheer for the team. But just talking about this game in a whole, I mean, once again, Jameis Winston, I never wavered. I always was on the side that this man never really had a lot of help. He didn't have a coaching staff prior to the one he has right now that actually believed in him. Dirk Cutter, which y'all know I talk about this man too much probably. Yeah.
Yeah, way too much.
He came out and said it. He said he'd rather Marcus Mariota over Jameis Winston. And there was never a point that he ever tried to turn his offense to favor what Jameis Winston does well. Bruce Arians, that was the first thing he made sure he did. The first things he talked about, yeah, well, Jameis Winston, all he needs is a defense and a running game. And he stuck to that. And what's the two things that we're seeing that's a lot better, in Tampa than it has been in the past? The defense and the running game. Ronald Jones, man, this man's going to be good. I mean, this man had, about 75 yards rushing, 5.7 yards, I think, per yards carry. I mean, he had a 75-yard run brought back because of a legal motion, I think, and another 30-something yard run that was brought back due to I don't even know, a hold, I think, by O.J. Howard and Bobo Wilson, which I don't even want to get into Bobo Wilson. I probably got to do my own thing on him, that dude. Ugh. But yeah, Ronald Jones, and we got it back, but I got to talk a little more about Jameis Winston. I mean, I'm honestly not surprised. Is he turnover prone? He definitely is. Like you said, what makes you laugh will make you cry. There is a little bit in that, but because now there's a team around him that, you don't. I don't know. I never felt, even when we threw that pick six, I wasn't nervous. I really wasn't. I still believed in the team, what they were doing that game. There's never a point in that game where I really was like, yo, they're about to lose this game. I heard that a lot this week. I really never felt it until it actually happened, because I was like, man, this team is playing way too good. We already had 3 turnovers. Shaq Barrett was abusing 77 off that edge, even when they were trying to double him, And to go back on Mike a little bit when he was talking about Sean McVay and his game plan, TJ touched it a little bit too. He looked back at those other tapes. They held Christian McCaffrey, 16 carries, 53 yards. I mean, it shouldn't deviate you from running the ball, because it's still about setting basically setting that presence of it being there. But Sean McVay, I think he did outplay. I mean, I think he outthought himself. I thought he was like, man, there's an opportunity, because that secondary, is still a little shaky. If I haven't heard, Ryan Smith's coming back off his 4-game suspension, so we should expect him coming back. Jamel Dean, hopefully, Sean Murphy Bunton. I mean, I hope he's starting to learn a little something. That secondary needs a little help. Very young, and they're showing, some kinks in the armor when it comes to the defense. Levante David playing at a very high level. Vita Vea, the Ndamukong Suh, he coasts a little bit, but when he's full fledged, he's still a force. William Ghost, that defense playing good ball. I think they're second in the league in turnovers, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think this team is just very, very dangerous, because they're getting better every week. Carson Palmer came out, said it took 8 weeks for him to get that system. Jameis Winston's already looking like he's picking it up twice as fast as him. Jameis Winston's a very intelligent young man, even though, the national media won't really say that. This was somebody that was accepted to Stanford. Very intelligent young man, and you can see he's picking things up and learning very quickly. He's grown to trust his team, and I think he's already trusted what Bruce Arians is telling him, because you can see him. He's fixing things that he's messing up in every single week. So, I mean, this 55-point 40, and oh yeah, Matt Gay. Hey man, you bounce back. I mean, a lot of kickers, I think, losing a game the way you did, a lot of kickers probably would have gotten their head. And if you watch that first extra point, I think it dinked off the top of the field goal post.
Very close.
After that, I think he made 6 or 7 extra points. He made a 58-yarder, and he was 2 for 2 for his field goals. That's mental toughness right there, and that's what we need at the kicker position. I'm very encouraged by this team, and I think they're going to continue to get better. Renegades will continue to get better. I mean, the defense is good. Obviously, I think the number one in rushing, stopping the run, which going into this next game we're probably going to talk about against the New Orleans Saints is going to be something that's very, very important. But, hey, I'm proud of my boys, man. Just keep getting better. And we're going to hear a lot of cannon fire, hopefully, when we get back to Raymond James Stadium, baby.
Yeah, good. Well, I got some questions, but I'll just try to hold off on those later on, man.
We got another part we got to talk about, so you can ask them. They're probably going to be questions you can ask probably towards the game.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to hold on to it for. All right, well, then that wraps up. Go ahead, DJ. Wrap it up, man. That wraps up the review, right?
Yeah, so hope I enjoyed that review. Like I said, it was a good day for the NFC South in all. We had 3 teams. We come on here, we tell y'all, this is probably the most competitive division in football. Every team you see here is getting better outside of the missing one that's nobody wants to talk about. The Falcons seem like they're going the opposite direction. But, I mean, you're talking about probably 3 teams that I'm going to say right now, at the end of the season, you're going to probably be looking at these 3 teams as possible playoff contention teams. As long I know we're still in the first quarter of football, anything can happen, injuries, all that stuff. But what you're seeing is teams ascending in this division. You're not seeing, maybe one game and then just tank. It seems like they're all going one direction. Even with Drew Brees being out with the Saints, you're seeing that team come together. Cam Newton being out, that team's coming together. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are learning how to win. And they're I think that's huge for all 3 of these teams. And looks like it's going to be a fun year, guys. I mean, whew. What's y'all final words out here, man?
3-1. You pretty much said it, man. I ain't got nothing else to say, man. Besides, I agree with everything you said. I'm trying to help y'all, Atlanta, man. I'm trying to reach. But I'm done, man. I'm done with that. I can't do it no more, man. Y'all got to show up to give me something so I can try.
I agree.
That's it. I agree with you 100%, DJ.
I guess that's it. We're going to close this one out. Thank you for checking us out. Please check out our page, the NFC South versus the NFL Sports Conference Network. Share it. Let your friends know. Comment. We'll comment back. We're also on Facebook. Come out there. We're starting to get a little bit of conversation on some of the videos. Hey, we have no problems answering. I hope y'all saw it. I got a little bit with a Saints fan, and that's why I can't wait for this next. When you see the preview of this week, you got that coming towards y'all if you haven't seen it yet. But it's your boy DJ. We're signing out for this recap. No Twitter handle. Get that. Fire them cans, boy.
Man, it's your boy Mike Ricks, man. You can follow me at Mike Ricks07 on Twitter. Keep pounding.
It's your boy TJ Jones. You can follow me on Twitter at TJAY, the radio guy. And when you see me in the streets, all you got to do is say, "Who that?"
I'll be saying that this week.